thank you for letting us settle here on this land that your ancestors took care of, forming small islands of coherence in the sea of global chaos that we're living in right now. To not sell like anything that we need to make, but really to give that to the world. I didn't negotiate like at all. I asked them what is their price, and that's where we said, how are we actually daring to succeed at this Herculean task of bringing something like this into reality. I'd like to invite you to imagine living conditions where a small group of extraordinarily gifted and talented adults are coming together, forming small islands of coherence in the sea of global chaos that we are living in right now, and that are working together, that are joining forces in order to develop tangible responses to the meta-crisis, to the convergence of crises that we are experiencing in our lifetimes. Hubs of innovation, hubs of change, incubators for birthing the more beautiful world, where the next generation can grow up in peace, love and abundance. And the older generation too can experience the most beautiful twilight years while living in tropical mountain regions at the perfect climatic sweet spot, where a lifestyle is possible that puts minimal burden on the biosphere, where an ecological footprint of 1.0, a lifestyle that technically would work for each and every human being on this planet, is feasible without feeling a sense of lack, but instead full abundance. Spaces where we grow our own food, where we become part of the cycle of life, where we live deeply physical lives. Spaces where our inner genius does not only get preserved but cultivated, where we are able to rise into levels in our potential that are previously unimagined, and together grow into the species that Mama Gaia needs us to be, the custodians, the caretakers, the stewards, the protectors of the whole ecosystem, where we are able to integrate all parts of ourselves and together grow into a full, embodied and complete and whole version of Homo sapiens, where people are living full-time and others are joining temporarily, while leaving these spaces completely transformed, and the coming of age of humanity can take place into a more wise, more loving and more capable version of ourselves, where each and everyone can bring their unique gifts to the table without being forced to be good at everything, like it is the case in our current society, where some people contribute financial resources and other people contribute what they are good at: childcare, building houses, permaculture, gardening, art, and so on. I see those spaces as the new blue zones. Blue zones are 5 regions in the world where there's an extraordinarily high percentage of centenarians, people who grow over 100. But these regions are declining because the younger generation abandons their lifestyles that made the older generations so healthy. Custodia may follow into those footsteps and reverse this trend and really function as the incubator for birthing a more beautiful world. And while over the past videos we explored important design criteria, today I'd like to get really tactical and share with you what are the next steps. How are we actually trying to bring this into reality? How are we actually daring to succeed at this Herculean task of bringing something like this into reality? Let's dive in. Alright, our beloved tent is empty. We need to leave it today because there will be a group coming that rented the whole place, but that gives us with a beautiful opportunity to move for one night even higher up the mountain, closer to our piece of land where we want to build Custodia, the incubator for birthing the more beautiful world. So let's explore. What are the next steps? First step that we already did over the past 2 months is that we scouted so many pieces of land. I think there are not many non-local people that are more familiar with this area and all the intricacies. Like, I really went deep. I really watched at so many different pieces of land, and I found my favorite one. If you haven't watched the first 3 episodes where I already showed you like this magnificent space that we found, you get a little overview of the beauty. Coffee? Ah, yeah, there's coffee. Yeah. There's coffee. Papaya. Papaya? What's papaya? Leo loves it deeply. Ah, already so at home. Papaya. Yeah. So many fruit trees, it's incredible. So this is what we already did. Then currently our lawyer is checking the certificate and all the documents of the current owner, whether everything is alright with them and whether we are able to acquire this piece of land. This will take place probably until next week. So there will be hopefully good news soon. It was not our intention to make a bargain. Like, all the people that came to Bali during the pandemic, where the local people were desperate to earn some money and they got squeezed for the land prices, that's not good. That's really not good. These people here, they were the custodians of this land for generations upon generations upon generations. So if we take over custodianship from them, it's our task to reimburse them in a really generous way. To say thank you for letting us settle here on this land that you and your ancestors took care of so beautifully. So that was very important for me. So I didn't negotiate at all. I asked them what is their price, and that's where we settled. So I know that's a different approach of how most people embark on real estate projects, but for me it's the only sensible way to move forward and to create really win-win situations. So this is already done too, and then the next step is to really create a nice formal agreement with my dad. Really make clear where his responsibilities are, where my responsibilities are, what I bring to the table, what are his gifts that he brings to the table. But it's I know this will be a smooth and effortless process. We are fully aligned on this. He's super excited. Yesterday we had a phone call and I was like, oh my god, let's build something amazing. And I cannot think of somebody with whom I'd be more grateful for taking this opportunity. Yeah, family project. And then of course it's of utmost importance for me to level up my Bahasa Indonesia skills. Of course I speak English, but in order to really connect with the local people, even in these rural areas, it's important to speak the local language. And I've been in Bali for so long, and there's really a little part inside myself that feels ashamed when I think about how long I'm already in Bali. And of course I know some words, I can have basic conversations, but I'm nowhere near fluency in this language, and this is something that absolutely needs to be the case. And this is why I'm going all in right now, and over the next weeks, to really immerse myself into the local culture even more. And the language is the basic entry door to that, because it enables communication. It enables communication on such a deeper level compared to switching to a third-party language like English. So, let's dive in, friends. what is the next phase? If everything goes well with our land acquisition, then we're gonna start pretty soon with the basic infrastructure. Of course, right now there is like nothing, it's a wilderness. We need water, we need electricity, we need composting toilets, like the basic infrastructure in order to be able to live there. And besides that, what we're gonna do is a massive upgrade of the food forest. There are already some nice fruit trees. There are durian and there are jackfruit and mangosteen and papaya and banana, but it can be more. It can be way more. So we're gonna develop a nice permaculture concept and execute on that in order to be able to grow as much as possible of the delicious fruits that we eat by ourselves. And then the third priority for phase 1 is to install the first tents. For me personally, tents are the ideal living conditions for the beginning because it's super fast, it's very ecological, it's easy, it's quick, it doesn't cost a lot of money. We can start. We can start bringing people to this beautiful place as soon as possible compared to like, setting up any crazy infrastructure projects. And there's one thing that I need to show you. There's a very special tent that I discovered. Like the moment I saw this, I was like, yes, really full body yes. This is the Asgard Eco, the world's first 100% biodegradable tent. Check this out. Can we design a tent which is 100% plant-based without any plastic, metal or synthetic components? Can we design a tent that would decompose if left underground? And could we design a tent that you could essentially eat? The answer is yes. Like these crazy pioneers at Asgard, beautiful supplier of all sorts of outdoor essentials, they are currently working on the first 100% nature-aligned tent. I already got into contact with them, and if everything goes well, maybe we're gonna install these as the first habitats on Custodia. The canvas itself is made from hemp fibers, a plant-based fabric that can be ecologically and rapidly grown and spun. It is both strong, soft and quiet enough to be suitable for tents. Of course, there are no chemicals involved, but we have treated it with the beeswax and thus obtained the same level of adequate water protection, very important in our climate, as on our regular cotton tents, and equally important, the same outstanding inner climate and breathability. All straps and guidelines are coconut fiber, and zippers have been replaced with a loop and a seashell. How beautiful is that? Which is not only functional but also very decorative. The mesh doors and windows are made from jute, a soft plant-based bast fiber, and the whole thing is pitched with bamboo poles and pegs. Any questions left?
No.
Ready to move in?
Yes.
Phase 2. Let's dive in. How might phase 2 of Custodia look like? How is the roadmap unfolding? In contrast to our Thrive Villages, our last community container that we created, there won't be any like long-term members living at Custodia in the beginning. Of course, in the long run, this is definitely the goal. To nourish this space like over years and maybe even over generations. But in the beginning there will be a space for people coming there for a couple of weeks or for a couple of months and really diving into a transformative space unlike any other. Inspired by the idea of an incubator that is very present in the business and startup world, where early stage companies move to a place where they are co-living with other founders, with other people trying to build their products and push their missions out there into the world, while at the same time receiving guidance from coaches, from mentors. And we will take this to a much more holistic, much more broad scale. We will host the incubator for birthing a more beautiful world. It's our intention to create a safe and incredibly powerful space where we can deepen our embodiment of the 4 archetypes of true custodianship. The 4 archetypes are the romantic, the guardian, the genius, and the mystic. And they all represent one of our elements. Like the romantic is our connection with the earth element, with the beautiful, with this incredible wonder and awe and excitement just to be alive. This desire to explore everything and everyone around us. It's basically about falling in love with life, falling in love with the whole. And this falling in love sets the scene for the guardian, which is the embodiment of the fire element, of our physical powers, like really developing the capability to protect what is sacred, to raise the level of the game we are playing at to a completely different sphere, and really hone our physical capabilities, our physical skills that enable us to be a much more effective agent of change. And then the genius enters the playing field. And the genius is the embodiment of our full mental capacities. The genius thrives in designing new systems and building new forms of companies, building new forms of communities, and really coming up with innovative ideas and novel solutions to the complex issues that we are faced with on our individual lives and in our collective lives too. And then the 4th archetype that complements these 3 nicely is the mystic, and the mystic is our connection with the water element, with the flow of life. Just when we might fall prey of being too tense, too committed, too determined to build a more beautiful world, then the mystic asks us to surrender and to let go. To sit in meditation and to step into the infinitely wise and all-knowing flow of life, and not to hold on to anything, not to attach, but to surrender. And these 4 contradict each other and complement each other perfectly, because we need all 4 of them in order to create a true paradise on this planet. It's important to fall in love. It's important to develop the capability to be able to protect. It's important to develop the mental capacities to design entirely new systems, new communities, new companies, new forms of being together. And it's important to do all that with a sense of ease and effortlessness. And embodying these 4 archetypes enables us to raise the contribution we are able to make in the 4 essential realms of service. Being of service in the smallest unit in our families, being of service in the next bigger unit, our communities, like really forming these coherent tribes, forming these physical and at the same time online places where we are joining forces, where we are coming together, where we are envisioning and implementing new forms of living, of being together. And then the next bigger circle around that is raising our levels of service in our companies and our organizations, and really building something beautiful for the world, putting our ideas, putting our products, putting our visions out there, and really building something that's non-existent yet. And then the biggest circle, all encompassing everything else, is raising our service to the whole of Gaia, and to aligning ourselves and our living conditions with the thriving of all life now and into the indefinite future. Living a sustainable life, living a conscious life, living an ecological life, and really questioning all aspects of how we move through this existence. Is it really in alignment with the whole or not? And which kind of changes and adaptations are we invited to make? So embodying these 4 archetypes and raising our contribution in these 4 levels of service is what will take place at Custodia. Friends, exactly 6 months from today, our first Custodia cohort will start. The first group of pioneers, visionaries, impact entrepreneurs, and parents dedicated to handing over a more beautiful world to their children will be welcomed at our home for transformative experience unlike any other. So for the next half a year it will be all in mode in order to be able to complete phase 1 and to really create a space where we can invite our first people for 3 weeks of in-person immersion on our piece of land, really working on our embodiment of the 4 archetypes of custodianship and raising our contribution in the 4 realms of service. And afterwards everybody will fly back home and we will continue our shared journey of 13 weeks. Online coaching journey, group sessions, one-on-one sessions, masterminds, explorations. But if you don't even want to wait for half a year, or if Bali is a place that doesn't call you right now, there is one more opportunity to participate in Custodia even earlier. In October, our first cohort will take place in Poland, in the Białowieża National Park, on the border of Poland and Belarus, the place that is like, that closely resembles the magical place where we are building here right now. Like here, this area, Jatiluwi, in the center of Bali, is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and Białowieża Forest is a UNESCO World Heritage Site too, protected for its beauty and incredible biodiversity. And this is a fully German-speaking container, so this goes out to all my German-speaking friends who are asking me all the time, Robert, like, now everything switched to English, like, how can I participate in spaces that you are hosting where there are German natives? This is your opportunity. Not far from Germany and Poland will the first cohort of Custodia take place, not on our own piece of land, but on an equally beautiful site. If you feel the calling, some good news. Today we opened the applications again. Application round 2 for Custodia Poland and Custodia Bali. In April we had our first application round, onboarded some very, very powerful creators, and yeah, so looking forward to work with these people. If you're thinking about applying, then you will be in good company, I can tell you. Epic human beings. The link is down below in the show notes. Over the next couple of days and weeks I will have many, many calls, and then we have our squad ready for August, Custodia Poland, and December, Custodia Bali. And sure, since like our development process is not fully in our hands, there are always like things that we cannot anticipate. We will have a backup location, just in case we won't get ready by December. It will be an equally beautiful location, very similar. And so, in either case, 1st of December, 6 months from now, I'm looking forward to welcome probably you and many other beautiful human beings here on the Island of the Gods. Ready to rumble?
I'm ready to rumble.
I'm ready to rumble too. After having finished, unfortunately, the 2 worst durian ever. Like at the end of the season, we were super excited to have 2 durian left, and they looked so nice, but they were so shitty. But luckily, we had some coconuts too. And yeah, that was delicious. And before we close off today's journey, which was a lot of fun, today I had a lot of fun recording all that. I want to give a quick overview how my phase 3 look like. Of course, it's definitely the intention to bring long-term community members here that are living full-time at Custodia. These might be people who went there like in the first place for 3 weeks or for a month or for 2 months, and then they are going back home, and then they are coming back again, and then like a gradual onboarding process can take place. That's definitely how we envision it. And of course, I'm super open to have other people host retreats and transformative containers here too. So I really see this as a nourishing ground for cultivating our highest potential in temporary containers and then like long-term containers. What do you want to add?
I don't want to add anything.
But you were just starting to talk.
No.
Yes, you did.
I just needed a break. My arms needed a break.
Oh, okay. Then you can talk now and your arms can have a break.
Okay. What shall I talk about?
You can talk about why Custodia is taking place in the gift economy. That's what I wanted to add at the end of the video. What's special
Because
about
it's
it?
the only thing that makes sense.
Let's do it in one of the next videos in more depth. But for now, for everybody who's not familiar with this alternative economic approach, it really feels like an expression of my core values, to not sell like anything that we are doing here at Custodia, to like charge anything or to write an invoice up front, but really to give that to the world. The fact that I'm able to take over custodianship of this land feels like a huge gift too, so I can only pass on this gift. So whoever is joining us either here in Bali or in Poland is invited to sense for themselves what they want to contribute. There is no like paywall, no nothing. It's a gift, and you are invited to check in what kinds of gifts you want to contribute. That's it. There's no expectations, no hidden agendas, no fine print, no nothing. It's really an invitation. Yeah, feels very good to be able to give that to the world. So I'm happy and curious to see who will receive my gifts and who will be the first people who are stepping into this magical container here and in August in Poland. It will be a beautiful journey. I think now we finally have everything together.
No, we don't.
No?
I just want to say that you are a gift to me. You're gifting me every day, actually.
It's beautiful. Thank you. You're a gift too.
Hmm.
So we all share our gifts with each other and with the world. That's the more beautiful world, or it's not possible for me.
Yes.
So yeah, if you feel the calling to join us, either here in Bali or at our first cohort in Poland in August, almost there, 2 months left, then you are invited to fill out our application form. Application started today again. I'll be having lots of calls in the upcoming days. Looking forward to connect with you. So hop onto the application form and let us know who you are.
I'm already hopping on it.
You are already filling out the application form in your mind. Yeah. That's beautiful. I'm excited to read your application. Thank you for your attention. Thank you for following along on the journey. Of course, I'm super excited to share more in the upcoming days. Like the documentation spirit is really igniting more and more with each and every video, and there's a lot that wants to be shared. So if you didn't subscribe to the channel yet, do that, so you will be notified for each and every upcoming video.
Do it.
Do it.
Now.
Do it.
Now is the time.
Now, or you will regret later.
Bye bye. Bye bye.